that because we're not looking at the past, we're doomed to repeat the same mistakes. So it's almost like you think, well, what's the bother trying? Because your
Mm,
present, you're not dealing with the past to make the present better.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I think we're all playing out our past in different ways. That is inevitable. But I also think that right now in our world with our modern dating, shall we say, we are kind of pioneers. We don't have anyone that's come before us in this way of the world of having seemingly so much choice, or people connecting digitally in a way that we never have before, or having pornography available the way it is online. It's kind of
Hmm.
how we view relationships is changing, and I think it's really interesting. I think there are going to be some major relational shifts in the decades to come. I think that people aren't going to marry much more. I think people are going to have relationships at different phases of their lives. I think we have an exciting time ahead of us in terms of things shifting and changing to sort of meet our much more exacting wishes and high expectations that we have of our lives and what we expect and what we want from them. But we're still kind of trapped in quite a conventional way of living and having relationships where if we want to have a family, if we want to sort of settle down, if we need the security of some sort of nuclear family or whatever for financial reasons or whatever it might be. So these two things are kind of really, really clashing. And I think there are a lot of people that are slipping through the cracks because these two things are happening and they don't support each other. They actually get in each other's way. So yes, I want us to be really open to having new kinds of relationships that
Hmm.
are unconventional or strange or not the norm, but that are certainly possible now. But I also want us working on our own stuff because whatever relationships we have, we need to know the baggage that we're bringing. And that is what trips people up. I've worked with all kinds of people from all walks of life, having all kinds of relationships. And it actually doesn't even matter how complex their lives are or that how stressful things are, that what they're dealing with, the things that trip them up are their lack of awareness of themselves and their own behaviors and their own thoughts and beliefs around relationships. It's incredibly powerful to sort of observe that over and over. And I think we all do the same things. For me, it's the human condition. We all do the same things in relationships. We all want love. We're primates, we're animals, and we all do very predictable behaviors when things aren't going the way that we want, or we're hurt or we're in pain.
Because that's definitely something I was noticing was, people are talking about like, oh, I met so and so on Tinder, or I'm polyamorous, or I'm doing this or
Mm,
that, and then they came from a family where it was men and women dated, you had kids, you got bought a house, and it was that kind of like the family dynamic, the societal pressures, the
yeah.
religious beliefs of the family that you were raised in, compared to how a lot of kids now, like I work with PhD students, and you have people who that's the first time they've allowed to become themselves
Yeah.
because they're
Oh.
away from that family dynamic, the pressures.
Mm.
How do you think, does that cause a lot of issues with people nowadays? Where are they more attuned to causing fights because they're trying to juggle the conflicting demands of family pressure? Like, how are we shaped by our families, by society, and things like that?
Hmm. Well, I think that's where a clash is happening a little bit because I think certainly with the people that I work with, something that I notice trends that are sort of happening are people's sort of attitudes towards sex, for example.